If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. It's only 22.
And I'm not sure if the WNBA is ready for the ramifications of what has just been unleashed, which is the Swifties joining CCFC.
Angel Reese's decision to start a podcast seemed like a genius move to boost her fame, but it has turned into a PR disaster. Instead of gaining popularity, she's found herself alienating millions of Taylor Swift fans, who are now rallying behind Caitlin Clark. This unexpected turn of events is sending shockwaves through women's basketball.
Angel Reese has her podcast, Unapologetically Angel. And on her podcast, she had a guest, Kayla Nicole, who is the ex-girlfriend of Travis Kelce, who obviously dates Taylor Swift, right? I mean, I think everybody knows that. You don't have to know anything, you know that.
Reese's podcast kicked off with an attempt to grab attention by inviting Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, as a guest. However, what she thought would bring her fame instead drew the ire of Taylor Swift's fan base. The Swifties took it as an attack on their idol, creating an unexpected storm of backlash.
Do you know what fans you do not want to piss off? In this world, you don't want to piss off the Swifties. She's pissed off the Swifties. She is pissed off the non-Swifties.
What no one saw coming was the fallout from this podcast uniting two fan bases, Swifties and Caitlin Clark supporters. Together, they formed a powerful alliance that's rapidly growing. This new force in women's basketball fandom is dominating social media and reshaping conversations around the sport.
More Swifties are joining Caitlin FC by the second. Oh, it's so over for the league. Swifties becoming Caitlin Clark stans is such a W.
The Swifties are known for their intense loyalty and sharp online presence, and now they've entered the women's basketball scene. Angel Reese is finding out the hard way what happens when the world's biggest pop stars fans take aim. Their alliance with Clark supporters is amplifying this backlash, making it a situation Reese wasn't prepared for.
You know there are some people, like, just in life, you know there are some people you don't want to piss off. Like, you know it's not going to end up well for you. There are some people you don't joke about because you know it's not going to end well for you. You know there are some people you don't want on your bad side because it's not going to end well for you.
Reese's podcast featuring Kayla Nicole became the tipping point. Fans viewed her comments about loving the idea of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce together as disrespectful. That one comment put her in the crosshairs of the Swifties, who were quick to turn her podcast into a battleground.
Angel Reese has her on the podcast. She talks about Travis Kelce, and the Swifties are unleashed. And they first start going for Angel. And, you know, Angel can handle herself in that space, I guess, a little bit. And she posts this, Hayton Pays Too, about it. And she's ready for the onslaught. She's painting her nails to get ready to rock and roll with the Swifties.
The Swifties are no ordinary fan base. They are known for being highly organized and investigative. When they came across Reese's podcast, they took her comments as a slight against Taylor Swift. The fallout escalated rapidly, with Swifties labeling Reese as out of line for her remarks.
And on the podcast, you know, this is a small sampling of what was said.
You guys would see each other, like, are you guys cool? I mean, I would probably like hit him with a head nod. We've seen each other.
So there's respect.
We've seen each other in public spaces, but I think that we're both aware of the nature of his new situation, that there's just no room really for us to communicate or acknowledge each other publicly without it being spun into something crazy. So we just keep it moving.
I want you guys together.
While digging through Reese's social media history, the Swifties stumbled upon a surprising connection, an old post from Caitlin Clark welcoming Taylor Swift to the Kansas City Chiefs fan base. This unexpected discovery made Clark an instant favorite among Taylor's fans.
The Swifties, there are a lot of them, and they're in mass. So Reese is ready. She's hunkered down. She's ready to take on whatever comes with Taylor Swift's fans. However, Taylor Swift's fans also unearthed this old Caitlin Clark post. I guess this happened around the time that she started dating Travis Kelce, which meant she was a Chiefs fan, and Caitlin Clark is a Chiefs fan. And Caitlin Clark writes, Taylor Swift, welcome to the good side, Chiefs Kingdom. All right, so we know Caitlin is supporting Taylor Swift. Not a shock. I think we've known that for a long time.
This revelation set off a chain reaction. The Swifties quickly rallied around Clark, forming a massive alliance with her supporters. Suddenly, Reese found herself on the wrong side of a growing fandom juggernaut. The scale of this fan base's power is unprecedented in women's sports.
However, the old post is being resurfaced and boosted as Caitlin Clark fans and Taylor Swift fans start to become one, which would equate to the largest fan base perhaps in the history of the universe. And you see like various posts out there. I mean, look, it's just an online sampling, but I found it amusing. This person says, Tay 013. I might start standing. Where do I start?
The backlash against Reese has been relentless. Swifties and Clark's fans have mobilized online to mock her podcast, criticize her social media presence, and question her motives. Some are even calling this a cultural war, with Reese severely underestimating the influence of Taylor Swift's fan base.
Effed up, according to Sir Charles, the Caitlin Clark situation. But I will preface this by saying, yes, the league did, but Caitlin Clark and her play and her teammates' play have straightened it. Here's Charles.
These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you.
This unexpected alliance is not only hurting Reese's reputation but also boosting Caitlin Clark's career. Clark's social media following has skyrocketed, further solidifying her position as a rising star. Meanwhile, Reese's online presence seems to be taking a noticeable hit.
If you do have a bunch of Swifties who all of a sudden became Caitlin Clark fans, that's a problem for any other fan base in any fan debate. I don't know if they're actually sticking around or they're just making a show of it online.
Ironically, Reese's podcast is seeing an increase in views and ratings, but not for the reasons she hoped. Instead of earning her respect, it has made her a target for ridicule. On the other hand, Clark is effortlessly benefiting from this wave of support, proving how quickly things can change in the world of social media.
Meanwhile, there's the Angel end of it, and she's caught some blowback for the podcast itself. It's just a podcast. She's just 22 years old. I really didn't get myself the point of the booking, but maybe there was an audience for it. Obviously, it got to the Taylor Swift fan base, so I'm sure the views on the particular episode are going to go up. And I don't want this to turn into like anything serious of like, you know, actual fighting amongst fan bases, and we've had enough of Caitlin Clark fans fighting with Angel Reese fans.
This entire saga highlights the incredible power of fan communities in today's sports landscape. The alliance between Swifties and Clark fans is reshaping women's basketball, creating new stars and influencing public perception in unprecedented ways. Meanwhile, Reese is left asking, what about me?
I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. She thinks she's, the reason why this is all happening here. Caitlin Clark was going to get eyeballs whether she played against Angel Reese in LSU or not.
The infamous hand wave incident from the NCAA championship is also resurfacing in the wake of this controversy. Angel Reese's taunting gesture toward Caitlin Clark during that game is now being scrutinized in a new light, with many seeing it as a defining moment that's haunting her career.
But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship.
Reese's unsportsmanlike behavior during the championship game is being linked to her current struggles. What was once just a heated moment on the court has now become a symbol of her public missteps, further shifting public opinion away from her and toward Clark.
This girl is incredible. What she did in college for women's basketball, what she's doing in the WNBA.
She turned the Fever were 1-8. They have a winning record now.
But the number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have become two of the most talked about figures in women's basketball, but for entirely different reasons. Reese's recent podcast controversy and Clark's growing popularity have sparked debates about fame, rivalry, and the power of fans in shaping sports narratives. Reese recently invited Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, to her podcast, aiming to create buzz.
When you were talking about being sexualized in the media, a lot of people were like, well, she asked for it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't get what that means, because I'm a beautiful girl. Like, I'm a beautiful woman. I've been posting pictures in my bikinis. I got a nice body and I work hard for it. And if I want to post a picture of my bikini, I should be able to without being sexualized.
It backfired spectacularly when she commented on supporting Taylor Swift's relationship with Kels.
Well, after the season, and when I was in my press conference and I was talking about being sexualized, like, I guess people thought that was like because I post pictures in my bathing suits. No, like, multiple occasions people have made AI pictures of me like naked. Literally.
Really?
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no.
Are you naked on Instagram?
Swift's fanbase, known as the Swifties, took offense and began criticizing Reese. This
Just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when
expected backlash highlighted just how influential Swifties are, especially when they teamed up with Caitlin Clark's fans. The connection between Clark and the Swifties started when an old post of Clark welcoming Taylor Swift to the Kansas City Chiefs fandom resurfaced. Suddenly, Clark wasn't just a basketball star, she was their favorite player. This new alliance catapulted Clark's fame to new heights, with her social media following growing by thousands daily. In contrast, Reese has faced increasing negativity. She's accused Clark's fans of harassment, including the use of AI-generated fake images of her in compromising situations. Reese also addressed the criticism she faces for posting bikini pictures, asserting that she works hard on her body and should be free to share such images without being sexualized. This tension between the two players traces back to last year's NCAA championship game. Reese taunted Clark during the game, a moment that sparked heated debates. While some applauded Reese's confidence, many admired Clark's calm and composed response. Clark didn't retaliate. She stayed focused on her game, earning widespread respect. Fans called her reaction classy, and it became a defining moment in her rise to stardom. Clark's rise is unique. Fans, including the Swifties, are drawn to her humility, grace, and undeniable talent. She doesn't seek drama or controversy. Instead, she lets her performance speak for itself. This approach has made her a favorite not just among basketball fans but also in pop culture. People are now calling her Taylor Swift in tennis shoes, a nickname that underscores her crossover appeal. Reese, on the other hand, has embraced a different strategy. She leans into controversy, using it to stay relevant. Even though she isn't among the top players in the WNBA, she's one of its most recognized figures. Reese understands the value of attention, whether positive or negative, and uses it to build her brand. This contrast in approaches highlights a broader shift in women's basketball. The sport is no longer just about skills on the court. It's also about how players connect with fans and shape their public personas. Social media has given athletes new ways to engage with audiences, but it's also made them more vulnerable to public scrutiny. For Reese, this has meant leveraging her platform to keep herself in the spotlight. She's unapologetic about who she is, calling herself unapologetically Angel. This bold attitude divides opinions but ensures she remains a topic of conversation. She knows that indifference is the only reaction she can't afford. Clark, by contrast, avoids unnecessary drama. Her focus is on her game, and it's paying off. Her calm demeanor, combined with her exceptional talent, has made her a cultural phenomenon. Fans admire her authenticity and the way she carries herself both on and off the court. The involvement of Swifties has brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. This fanbase, known for its dedication and influence, has helped elevate Clark to superstar status. More importantly, their involvement has brought new viewers to the sport, increasing its visibility and potential for growth. This newfound attention is translating into real benefits. More fans are watching women's basketball, leading to more sponsorships, higher ratings, and greater recognition for the athletes. Clark's rise is reminiscent of how Tiger Woods boosted golf or how Lionel Messi drew attention to Major League Soccer. Her star power is attracting new audiences and reshaping the sports landscape. However, this surge in popularity also comes with challenges. Reese's podcast mishap shows how quickly public opinion can turn against an athlete. Meanwhile, Clark's growing fan base puts her under immense pressure to maintain her image and performance. Both players are navigating a new era where athletes' public personas are as important as their skills. The rivalry between Reese and Clark is emblematic of this change. It's not just about what happens on the court anymore. It's about how players manage their brands, engage with fans, and handle controversies. Reese thrives on controversy, understanding that being talked about keeps her relevant. Clark, on the other hand, focuses on authenticity and excellence, earning admiration and loyalty. This dynamic reflects broader trends in sports. Athletes are now celebrities who must carefully craft their public images. Fans, two, have become active participants, capable of shaping narratives and influencing careers. The Swifties' involvement in women's basketball is a testament to this power. Ultimately, the rivalry between Reese and Clark is reshaping the narrative of women's basketball. It's drawing attention to the sport, inspiring debates, and forcing athletes to rethink how they engage with the public. As both players continue to take different paths, one thing is clear: the game is changing, and fans are at the center of it all.